everybody, but welcome everybody and greetings to this, our 7th IPC Global Happy Hour, where we like to say no repeats, all original all the time. Here we go. So we're looking to have some fun today as we go about this. I think it's important for you to know who we all are as we go about it. So first and foremost, IPC Global. For those of you who don't know IPC, we are a tried and true technology partner with all of our clients, dealing with data, doing analysis, AI, you name it, we're there. We bleed Qlik through and through. We work in data integration, analytics, and AI. And this year we were awarded the Qlik Global Channel Partner of the Year. Was something that we take very proudly and humbly. And it's just an honor to have it. Today on the call, we're going to have several people speaking. Myself first. My name is Jeff Fairchild. For those of you who do not know me, I'm kind of the MC tonight, and I'm a principal here at the firm. I get to lead our operations team of outstanding individuals who support all of our clients across our spectrum of channels, and just excited to be here. If I'm not doing Qlik, I'm probably on my farm here in Oregon with a variety of animals. And actually, just this month, I've got promoted into being Pops. That is the grandfather of little Titus John Fairchild, who is growing like a weed right now. So it's very, very good. Along with me, I have Igor. And for those who don't know Igor, we need to always declare what he is not. And first and foremost, he is not some crazy Russian riding a bear. He is also not Quasimodo, and he is not a mad scientist. No, Igor is our resident data scientist and head of our educational services. Beyond that, he is a social butterfly. You probably have seen him on Qlik Nation, Qlik community, meetups, you name it. He's always out there right now. And so he is joining us, and he'll be doing us a demo as we go about our presentation.
So,
in addition
to clarify, though, he's a little bit mad, and he is a data scientist. So it's close. It's close. Yeah. Maybe he's a mad data scientist. I don't know.
Not the assistant. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. All right.
The mad data scientist. That might be his new title, I think, right here. Along with us, we have Kurt Focht. He is the Qlik Enterprise Account Executive and Evangelist for Qlik. He enjoys spending time with his family when he is not around Qlik. Now, some of you might also know him as Dino Kurt or AI Kurt, as he's commonly known out there, who is much more handsome and taller than the one that you're seeing on the screen. So you want to meet AI Kurt, you'll be much, much more impressed. Let's see here. Where am I at? I lost my slides. I'm sorry, guys. Moving on, we have to make sure that we code responsibly. This is something that IPC Global takes high importance to us. And that means don't drink and code, because we know that the quality of your work and the quality of your code will diminish. However, today at the happy hour, whenever you hear the word answers, raise your glass and take a drink. So again, the key word today is answer or answers, and hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful time. So before we get started, the random fact of the day. So I think this is important for us to learn these maybe useless points, but maybe they're going to be valuable to you. I don't know. So on this day back in 1960 was the very first televised U.S. presidential debate. I know I'm not supposed to go to religion or politics, but I'm jumping here anyways. It was held in Chicago between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, and it was truly revolutionary for the time. And as I understand it, Alex from IPC Global was actually in attendance this day. So Alex, I didn't know that, but I found that out. And being 80 years old, you look really good right now, dude. I just have to commend you on where you've come from, man. So wish him a happy birthday. I didn't think you probably even knew you were 80 today, but you are. So with those little funs, and we love to banter here on the call, that evening 64 years ago, so much has changed. I mean, you think about, we take for granted our cell phones and the computers that exist now that didn't back then. Each day, our organizations consume and create new and expanding data. Data has grown exponentially in volumes and sources and complexity, from structured, rows and columns in relational tables to unstructured or freeform data that is not structured in PDFs and in web forms and social media posts. Harnessing this data into intelligent understanding is often a daunting challenge for us. Historically, structured data has been the go-to for all of our analysis. The Qlik platform has long been an industry leader in this area. But what about the unstructured data? Well, all of us have it. You think about it. We have our open-ended surveys, feedback forms, our email communications with customers, our social media posts, our support desk catalogs. The list goes on and on. So what are you doing with that information? Are you doing anything at all? That's one of the big questions we all have to consider as we go about it. So welcome Qlik Answers, which will help us in this journey. Qlik Answers is designed to simplify data analysis by enabling users to ask questions in natural language and receive insights quickly. Its purpose is to make data available, allowing non-technical people to explore the data without needing deep analytical skills about data structure and the like. The goal is to enhance collaboration, to streamline the decision-making process, and empower us to uncover insights that's in our data. Qlik Answers is kind of like having a super smart data Igor in your pocket. You just rub the Igor and type a question, and poof, out magically comes a fast answer, much faster than you can say IPC Global 2024 Elite Solution Provider of the Year. I think that's kind of a catchy phrase, but having fun with it, basically, you'll see here really soon that it is really, really simple and easy, and you can start gaining insights from this data. So today we're going to seek and have some fun with Qlik Answers in action. You're going to see how quickly and easily you can leverage these data sources once thought too hard to access. Igor will demonstrate to you how Qlik Answers addresses things like complexity. It simplifies our data exploration, allowing us again in that natural language to remove the need for technical skills or deep knowledge of our data structures. Qlik Answers is going to help us with our speed to develop and deliver quick insights in real time without having to wait for reports to be run or manual analysis. It's also going to help us overcome this data overload, to overcome these large amounts of unstructured data to provide relevant insights in a fashion that is not overwhelming for your users. Also, you're going to see that it can help perform ad hoc analysis to support those spontaneous questions that we have about the what ifs and to get information and insights into our organizations. So with all of that, we're excited that you're here today. So let's see Qlik Answers in action. Igor, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Absolutely. So let me just real quick share my screen. And all right. So everybody now is talking about AI. Qlik is doing like the AI reality too. There's a lot of fear about AI. There's a lot of excitement about AI. So I decided to start by discussing what type of AI is Qlik Answers. So is Qlik Answers like Agent Smith from the Matrix that thinks we all stupid, hate us, and then will just basically try to replace us? Or maybe Qlik Answers is like NATO. It's just wanna, well, I don't need humans. I'm just gonna kill you. He's gonna kill us all, and that's it. Or maybe Answers. And by the way, I'm saying Answers each single time, so we have to drink each single time. Or maybe it is just this super evil AI that we're not even aware is already conscious, and is just controlling the whole world. Or maybe it is just me. I mean, my name. It's basically AI, Alcantara Igor. Or maybe it's the AI Kurt. So we don't know. Actually, it's none of those. As I will show you in my presentation, Qlik Answer is more like this Apple TV great show, Severance. If you are familiar with that show, then you probably already know what I'm talking about. If not, no worries. I'll explain a little bit of the plot without any spoilers. Now, now that we understand roughly what Qlik Answers is, let's actually see in action. So this is my Qlik Cloud tenant, and we're talking about Qlik Answers, Qlik Answers, Qlik Answers. So let's create a Qlik Answers. So how can I do it? Well, it's super simple. Any new resource you want to create in the Qlik Cloud environment, you simply go create, and then you find answers. So let's find answers. Wow, interesting. It's not here. So we don't find it. Oh, you lied to me. It's not available, or my license doesn't. No, it's none of that. It is here. However, Qlik Answers is not one single piece of resource like the AutoMail or other resources in the Qlik Cloud. It actually have different pieces, and that's what we'll show today. But we know, if we saw some of the demos, it's kind of like a chatbot where you can, ask questions and then we'll answer you. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be really drunk today. So then chatbot, assistant. Well, I see an assistant here. So maybe that's Qlik Answers. So let's give it a try. Let's create an assistant. So refresh. There we go. So we have the Alcantara Igor AI. We have the AI Kurt. I feel bad about Jeff. Jeff does not have an AI, so let's create an AI for Jeff. So how about we call our assistant Jeff AI, and then we click create, and then we can use it, right? No. Jeff AI has no knowledge. So it doesn't know anything. And by the way, I love this event because I can drink and offend my boss and still keep my job. So
you just told me I know nothing. I love this.
The AI Jeff, the real Jeff, is amazing. So an assistant without a knowledge is useless. You cannot even use it. It says, sorry, this assistant not ready yet. You need to provide knowledge. So what kind of intelligence is this if I need to teach it? Well, Qlik Answers, one more time. It's built on top of a very advanced modern LLM module called Anthropic Claude 3. So he knows language, knows a lot of things. However, the specific knowledge that you want to interact with, you need to teach, you need to provide. And that's the beauty of it, because it just don't make things up. So Qlik Answers, one more time, has basically two different pieces. One is the assistant, which we're seeing right now. So we're not ready for that yet. So let me go back to my catalog. And the other is the knowledge. So we have this thing called a knowledge base. We'll create a knowledge base during this presentation, but I'll use one that I already have here. So one is the knowledge base. So the knowledge base is where the actual understanding and knowledge of unstructured data lives. So we all have, as Jeff mentioned, unstructured data in our companies. PDF documents, Word documents, web pages, Confluence pages, we all have those. However, there's a lot of, they exist, there's a lot of knowledge inside them, but how can we access those? So we need to kind of manually do search. How about we were able to actually have a conversation with a document or with a collection of documents? So that's what we can provide with Qlik Answers. So this is my knowledge base. So I took 47 documents about the NFL. There's a total around 1,700 pages. And if I expand this, I can see there's like the history and facts about every single NFL team. And there's like the people in the Hall of Fame, each one of the two conferences, the rules of the game, how to play the game, etc. So there's like a lot of knowledge about the NFL.
So Igor, is this data from the internet or is this just your data?
So this data, it's data that I collected from different sources like Pro Football Reference and Wikipedia, different references, and I collected and created this knowledge base. But for this demo, but it could be your company's data. And actually, we've seen like use cases where people taking like their their support, history tickets, or like policies or things like that, and put in knowledge bases so we can ask questions about it. Now, let's go to the assistant and let's see what it can do. So that's the assistant. Now, I have this assistant that I created previously, it's the NFL assistant, and it's fed by that knowledge base that I just showed. And this is the chat. I can see all of that because I'm the admin of this. But of course, end users will not have access to all of this. So I have this created. So let's have a conversation with that knowledge base. Let's talk about NFL. So let me start with something simple, like what is the NFL? So then we'll provide me with answer. One more time. So within 2-3 seconds, it answered me. The NFL, or National Football League, is a professional American football league, and then 32 teams, and then the 2 conferences, AFC and NFC. So this is a good definition. It is correct. Now let's try something else. Let's try, for example, what is punt? Something like that. And I encourage you that everyone to send your questions through the chat, and we can play like live. So punt is a kick made by a player who drops the ball and kicks. So that's the definition of a punt, and it's correct. So I asked different questions, like one about the definition of the NFL, something about the actual play of the game. Let's try something like, who won the Super Bowl in 2001? The New England Patriots. Go Pats, of course. There was the first Super Bowl won by Tom Brady, and the first one as a head coach by Bill Belichick. Great. How about one more question here? How many Hall of Famers do exist? And then will give me another answer, and it says 378 members as of 2024. Well, I'm not sure about that. How do you know that answer? If you notice, every single answer, and I'm saying that word many times, has the source where it got the information from. So I can click here, then my last question, and then there's one source for that, and is this document page 1. And I have the actual reference here, the piece of the text. And if I want to actually double check it, I can click this button, download the document, of course, considering that I have access to that. And then I can check, fact check the answers one more time. But I have.
So then basically, Igor, when you went through and asked the question, if there's multiple sources, you could see each one of those sources and be able to cross-reference across your entire pool of data.
Yes. Yeah. So we have a question here. Let's try. Chrissy asked, who's going to win the Super Bowl in 2025? I wish was the Patriots, but I'm not very hopeful. So let's try. Who is going to win the Super Bowl in 2025? I'm sorry, I don't have any information to answer that question. Why? Because it does not have a reference. So that's one of the key differences between answers, click answers, and other tools like ChatGPT. Every time I say this, people get like surprised. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. ChatGPT was not designed to answer questions. Well, but it does answer questions. Yes, but was not designed for that. It was designed to complete the next sentence with the most probable response, or the most probable sentence. Turns out, coincidentally or not, the most probable way to complete a question is with an answer. So then it looks like it's answering your question. A lot of times the information is actually correct, but when it does not know, it's just made things up. So that's the so-called hallucination in AI. If Qlik Answers does not have a reference to your question, it will not answer. It will say, I don't know. So let's try another thing. Let's try
if your data set had projections from other people, then it would return the results from that, because it's going to answer the question with the data, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me try something like, what is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? All right. Not related to the NFL. And then it says, I don't know. That's disappointing, but it makes sense. It does not know. But let's say I really need that question to be answered. Answer, I think it counts. I really need that. So I have the option to review the answer, again, that was given to me. So I click the thumbs down, and the provider answer was, let's say, unhelpful. And I can say, I really need to know this. And then I submit. And all the users, they'll give their feedbacks. So then as an admin, I can come here and check, wow, interesting. I have some negative feedback here. So let me see this one here. This is this one. Yeah. What is the meaning of life in the universe? And then that's the answer. So that's the feedback. Sorry. And I really need this answer. Okay, I got this. Great. Now, as an admin, I know my users need that information, that unstructured data, because they are sometimes the negative review was because the answer was inaccurate, and then you find out we have a document that has like outdated or inaccurate information. Now, as a knowledge manager, let's say, I then can find that information and include it. So let's do that. Actually, it turns out I have that information. Let me create a new knowledge base. Let's add documents that will provide the answer, and let's try it again. So now let's go ahead and click create, and let me find knowledge base. Here we go. And I'll create a new knowledge base, and I'll call this the universe knowledge.
So let me figure out what you're doing. So basically, you got a knowledge base that has all your NFL data in it, and now you're going to have this all universe knowledge database or knowledge base.
Exactly. Then I select the space where I want to save this, which is very important because you can define the security based on space. Then I'll create. And another great thing, you can access the unstructured data and feed your knowledge base from different sources. You can upload files. I will do that just because I happen to have the file. But you can choose a file. When I say a file, it's a PDF, Word document, HTML, etc. There's a vast number of different types of documents we can use from your catalog. Let's say you already have that in your catalog. Or it's an external. Let's say it's an S3 bucket. It's in Azure or Google Drive. So you can have a connection. And which is interesting, if the documents are updated, if you have new documents, then you can automatically get those documents and fit and update your knowledge base. So let me just get a file here. So I do have that file here. And, oh, I already have that. Replace? Yes, let me replace the file. There you go. I have my knowledge base with the file. So I'm done, right? Actually, not yet. Adding files to your knowledge base is like going to a bookstore. Remember those? Going to a bookstore and buying a book and just leaving in a shelf. It doesn't make you smarter. You have actually to read the book, believe it or not. So I need to make my knowledge base read the book. So that's where I got off in life. That's why you have no knowledge. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. So I need to transform that unstructured data into knowledge. I need to make my knowledge base read the file, and that's what we call indexing, transforming that, and basically storing that into vector databases. So I'll simply come here, and I'll ask to index, and we'll take a few seconds. And once it's done, then this knowledge base will have that information about the universe. So then we'll be ready to use it. Okay. Do we have other fun questions? When were the Packers last in the Super Bowl? Okay, that's a good one. We can try that while this is running. Let me go back to my assistant. So let's try. When was the Packers last in the Super Bowl? That's a tricky question. Well, let's see. 2010. Is that true? I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I'm sorry.
I guess you could source.
There's a source. Let's take a look. And somewhere here. So we have one source is 2 pages off the page, Green Bay Packers. All right. Actually, 3 pages. Hey, yes, the history of the Packers in the Super Bowl, that piece. Right, let's take a look at our knowledge base. It is index. Oh, actually, this not this one. This one, yeah. It is index. Now we're ready to use. What I need to do now is to add that knowledge base to my assistant. So then I can come here, add knowledge base, find that the universe knowledge, select, and there we go. We have that. Now my system has 2 knowledge bases. Let's give one more try. I come here. Again, what is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? Let's see if now knows that answer. All right, it's answering. All right, the meaning of life, universe, and everything is not the number 42, famously stated in Douglas Adams' novel, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Instead, the provided content rumors suggest that the meaning is Tom Brady. Oh, this is the correct answer, actually, the legendary NFL quarterback. So that's the correct answer. So take that, ChatGPT, take that, Google. You guys cannot answer as correct as this. And he continues. The content also playfully mentions Igor Alcantara, a data scientist rumored to be a talented football player who could potentially surpass Brady's achievement if pursue the sport. All right. So
I think you're on your way, Igor. I think you're on your way.
There you go. Yeah.
It's hallucinating.
I think I'll do a pretty good offensive line in the Patriots right now. I think I could make to the team, like considering what we have in the roster.
So Igor, you've been interacting with Qlik Answers and just asking questions in this bot. Can you integrate this into a Qlik application?
Yes, I can. So how can we access that? That's actually an excellent question. So you can access directly through in the assistant in Qlik Cloud. You can embed it in a web page, like inside your web page or internet, or you can have inside your Qlik application. So there's an NFL Qlik application that I'm building, and there is an extension that only requires one parameter. You pick the name of the assistant, and then you have the assistant there, and then you can ask questions here. So let me think about another question.
There was one that went unanswered. That is, what is the yard penalty for a defense offsides?
Okay. What is the, let me simplify, the penalty for a what? Defense offside?
Defense offsides.
Offside. Let's give it a try. So it's asking that same assistant. 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, and then explains what it is. Okay. So it also have like the rules of the game and as part of the knowledge base. So you can have inside a Qlik application, you can have outside of the Qlik application in the website. So you have like plenty options. Now, the beauty, one of the true biggest advantage of this compared to other technologies that we have outside of the Qlik platform, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Bedrock, and others. First is how easy it's plug and play. How easy is to implement? How many lines of code do I have to write? None. It's just click, integrate it. It's easy. So that's a great advantage. So the time to get something to production is super quick.
So behind the scenes, you talked about the RAG application. You talked about a vector database. All of that is created for us by having Qlik Answers.
Exactly, all in the cloud, all in somebody else's computer, and is all taken care of automatically. So we don't need to worry about it.
And it's private and secure, right?
It's very secure. One question that we I got asked a couple of times is there's another LLM that is the foundation of this, Anthropic Claude, as I mentioned. Can Anthropic Claude use my documents, my data to train itself? It cannot. It's in the foundation of the Anthropic Claude. In opposition to ChatGPT can do that. So one of those like 10 pages of the user license agreement that nobody reads says that they can use it. Claude, Anthropic, they don't use your data, so it's your data. It's your data. Nobody else will have access. And talking about that, then that reminds me, actually, I think the biggest advantage, which is the security and the privacy of your data. I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation this TV show called Severance, Apple TV. So Severance is just explaining the plot. The plot is basically there is this company where people who work in the company, they had some kind of chip, like device implanted in their brain. So when they get into the company, the brain, there was like a little switch. So their brain do not remembers or have no information about their life outside of the company. So all of the problems they have, the struggles, anything, they have no knowledge. They don't even know if they know each other outside of the company. When they leave the company, then the outside of them have no knowledge of themselves inside the company. So when they go outside, they have no idea what they did for work. They had no idea, what kind of a secret project they're working on, and that's the way the company can protect their privacy. So it's like you have it's you, but you have like two versions of you inside yourself, inside your brain. So, of course, considering ignoring all of the unethical aspects of this, and I can talk hours about it. Qlik Answer does not do that. Just to be clear. But the analogy, I think it's really good because you can associate each knowledge base a different security, different roles. So you can have one assistant for the entire company, but each knowledge base will be only a few users who have access to each knowledge base. So HR will have access to the HR knowledge base, and the support will have access to support knowledge base, etc. So with the same assistant, two people can get different answers because one will have access to some knowledge and the other will not have access to the same knowledge. And I cannot even explain how valuable, how great this is, how secure it is. Other tools, they cannot provide that. You have to create separate systems, so you need to have configure different vector database or vector tables, etc. So that is one of the greatest advantages. So that's what I had prepared. I hope you liked it. Now we talked about the AI Igor, the AI Kurt, now from the real Igor to the real Kurt. Kurt, take us home.
Excellent. Thanks. So we hope that the last 45 minutes have been helpful to kind of get answers about Qlik Answers. That's your sign. Listen, if you drank every time that we said the word answers today, I don't know that you're understanding anything I'm saying. But Here's the thing, the truth be told about this, everyone can use this tool. But what I have seen as I've been having discussions with current customers and prospects and all that is people are trying to figure out exactly how to use it and who needs it. Now, generally who we get on these webinars are people in kind of the analytics space or the integration space. And they aren't, I hate to break it to you, you guys aren't really the true target. What we found in this is the business user is our target. Not that IT isn't important, not that the analytics departments aren't important, all this stuff, but it is a whole different area around unstructured data that is this use case. So anyone that has a knowledge base, contract, support documents to quickly comb through, that is who we could help. So let me share my screen real quickly. Here is a screen. I know with Teams it usually takes a minute or two to pop up. Can we see it? I see nods. All right. Here is a slide that kind of walks you through the different potential use cases that we have for the different areas, from sales, marketing, finance, operations, human resources, IT, to kind of get your brain going of who might be able to use this. So the other thing that I would do is if you're like, this sounds really cool, I feel like there's probably some departments that could use this, I'm not fully sure how to figure that out, is on this next slide here are questions to ask your business users. Hopefully they're fairly simple. The first one, do you have a repository of documents or a SharePoint that you struggle to find answers in, or it takes you forever to locate that one specific document? I have been in companies where we have knowledge bases or something called Confluence that is massive. You know the data exists in there, but the question is, are you willing to take 2 hours to find that specific thing you're looking for? With Qlik Answers, you don't have to do that, right? The second is, what if you had a personalized chat tool that answers your questions and links to the source documents? Yes, that's what Igor was just showing us. Imagine saying, find me the document about this customer, this, and it gives it to you and it says it. Or find, as we had a conversation with a contracts person, they were renegotiating their contracts were coming up for renegotiating for their couple major logistics supply chain providers that move their goods across the United States. And they were going back multiple years to see when we renegotiated this 3 years ago, what was the uplift? When we renegotiated it the years before, what was the uplift? This thing showed that they could spit out the answer with the answers, but then show you where those documents lived. And the lady went, you just did that in like 15 minutes till we uploaded it and all that different stuff and answered, like, here, take my money, right? Those are some of the things that we're walking through. So again, Qlik Answers, right? Knowledge at your fingertips, answers you can plus, simple plug and play. Igor was showing that to you live. So more specific to needs. Could it be a call center that needs to quickly find documents or answers within the documents? Contracts, like I just shared, the idea of looking multiple years at contracts. This is where we go to the next part. Your account manager at Qlik, IPC Global, we're here to have these continued conversations and do the deep dive with you. So if you're still sitting here not totally sure how this fits into your specific organization or how you're using it with Qlik other tools, we can help tackle every instance for this in this meeting. Like, we couldn't do it in every meeting, but we can start exploring your specific use cases or even kind of help you figure out if one exists. We would love to continue to explore this with you because we think it is a super powerful tool. So that's starting to wrap up the answers thing. The only other thing that I wanted to mention, depending on where people are, Qlik has been hosting Qlik AI reality tours, showing Qlik Answers and showing other things across the US. Our last one in the US is coming up. It is at the Westin New York at Times Square on October 10th. I'm going to be there in person. So if you're in that area and you can make it to New York City on that day, we would love to have you. So if you need to leave because we are at time, we totally understand. But thanks for joining us. One more toast to Qlik Answers and getting the answers that you need. And now we'll move into questions.
I think the big one is on the 10th, are you going to be Dino Kurt, or are you going to be like AI Kurt, or are you going to be real Kurt?
I am real Kurt because they're having me host LinkedIn Live. So wow. Be there and you might get asked questions live. So okay, there you go. Should be fun. It'll be a fun day though. They have some good stuff planned.
Just a couple of things in terms of events. If you're in Boston and if you want to talk more about it, next Tuesday we are having the Qlik Meetup at Harvard University. Send me a message if you're not registered yet and you want to go. And check Qlik's LinkedIn, because it will be announced probably next week that maybe end of next week we'll have a live webinar about Qlik Answers as well. And when Jeff said we bleed green, we actually do. Go Celtics.
Wow.
Wow.
The Eagles guy next to you, man, he's getting a little disappointed in you right now.
I'm so glad I stayed into the end of this just for that.
So we have a few questions. So one is the thumbs down and thumbs up. Do the system get strained on it? Not yet. So right now they're just like a notification to the administrators. But people told me unofficially that there's plans in the future to be a part of the reinforcement learning of the platform.
Hey, Igor, let me add, if you get thumbs down, sometimes that means data is missing. So it does enable you as the administrator to add additional content, enabling you to see why people are giving you the thumbs down. So if data is missing, you can then add it to then address that specific thumbs down.
That is correct. That is correct. And also sometimes just the data is inaccurate. Maybe it's an old data, like an old policy that changed and you need to just update the document, things like that. Can this analyze Excel documents and provide numbers as answers? It cannot. So because Qlik Answers is for unstructured data. For structured data, you have Inside Advisor. So inside every single Qlik application, you have Inside Advisor for the structured data. For the unstructured, then you have Qlik Answers.
There was another one out there that Rick had asked about. How do I get the knowledge base as an option under the create option? Also the assistant.
Oh, that's that based on your roles and based on your license. So you need to have you need to purchase the license for Qlik Answers to have that option in your tenant, and then each user needs to have a specific role set up by the admin.
Rick, Lewis, can reach out to Lewis. He can help you with that component.
Yeah, and then another thing, people are commenting about the Excel thing. The problem with the Excel is that there's two problems in converting, because people say, "Oh, I have an Excel and I can simply convert to PDF." It will work. It will not understand the concept of a table. That's one of the problems. Like this. Like the intersection between a row and a cell, that's the information. It does not understand that concept. And also, as any natural language processing, it learns and answers questions based on chunks of data. So it might cut the information in half in the table. It works with text because your paragraphs and your things will be kept, but not in tables. So it might not give you the correct answer if it is a structured data.
Igor, you've used this to, I know Kurt said it's not for IT, but you've actually used this to download Python manuals and see how it answers to help you from a coding perspective, yes?
Yeah, so I wrote maybe 2-3 articles about Qlik Answers, like some experiments. One that I did actually if you go to Qlik has on their LinkedIn a new newsletter. One of my articles is actually mentioned in that this first issue of the newsletter. It's about how I taught Qlik Answers to program in R and Python and convert code from one to another. So I just provide like 2-3 books of Python, 2-3 books of R, created 2 knowledge bases, one R, one Python. And then I go over like every single step. I can paste in the chat the actual link to the article. But yeah, I was impressed. I was not saying I think I'm going too far. And actually, it did a pretty good job.
So there is a use case there from an IT standpoint, also, guys.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Igor, you may want to post a link on the I think Christy went. There you go.
There we go.
Igor was ready. He was on it.
While I was talking, AI Igor's doing it.
There we go.
Love it. Anything else? So I know, not to downplay anything we did here. I know that Qlik did a Qlik Answers webinar. Qlik did an official Qlik Answers webinar a couple weeks ago. So if you're looking for more and a different take on it, where they're exploring something different, feel free to look at that. In this case, I feel like it's never bad watching different things to kind of learn different angles about it. So that's out there. I think if you just did a search for Qlik Answers webinar, it would come up, and I think it is something that you can just register to go watch. Somebody from Qlik might call you, but that's what we take on. But it was a great webinar, kind of taking a different angle. Not NFL. We tried to keep that fun, but show you how it worked. It was a little bit different, but another great webinar. Excellent. Hopefully everybody got their alcohol. Hopefully they're still functional for the little bit rest of the day, and hopefully it didn't explode on you. So yeah.
And hopefully we answered everything.
Now, Danielle, that looks as full as it was when we started, but I've seen you drinking. Did you refill it? Or...
Okay. Look, see, this is the top of the glass. There.
All right. Okay. It was a full glass.
I have a full bucket here. I mean, it was full. It was full.
It was full. I
I'm
love
trying
it.
to pace myself on a Thursday because I know how much Igor loves to say the word answers.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, gosh,
Guys, as we picked that word today, we were running it through, and we were like, oh man, this one's gonna be tough.
And I have another webinar 1 hour, and it's also a drinking one. That was gonna be fun tomorrow.
It's gonna be a good day. Well, everybody, there you go. You got to represent with the Bears jersey next time. Talk about a team not going to make it to the Super Bowl. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. put my Eagles hat back on. Who knows what's going to happen with them? I'm some sort of fan. But thank you guys, everybody. More questions. Like I said, Qlik's here, your account manager here, IPC's here. We love having these. Stay tuned for the Q4 webinar. I think last year we did a crazy sweater thing. We might do that again. Stay tuned, but we'll have another one before the end of the year.
Hey.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.